Speak Music Radio. We are on the line right now with Webb, my brother, Corey. I'm so excited. He is actually on the road right now. He's on his way to do some ministry, actually. So we're excited. Yes, we are. Aren't we, Mariah?
Yeah, we are. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Raya, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing good.
Mariah,
how are you?
Excuse me, Mariah Chanera.
Thank you.
Mariah Chanera. That is so ghetto. I'm so mad at her name. Ghetto. Mariah Chanera. No.
I just want to know, where is Conscience at?
Conscience, can you please come to the mic?
He want to know where Conscience is.
Come to the mic, Conscience.
What's up, guys?
Conscience, what's going on with your C. Wiley?
Hey, you know what's funny? Everybody be calling you C-Dub, but they be calling me C-Dub too. I said, okay, look, this is a little confusing here. We got to get this together.
That's good.
No, but we're we want to speak with you. We've been tracking you down, and Jerry, the bishop, is calling me on the other line. I'm going to just put him on blast on the radio. Thank you for interrupting my interview, Bishop. But no, Corey, we wanted to speak with you because there's so many great things that is happening in your life, in your career. And we wanted just to kind of give our listeners, we play you a whole lot, we play you.
Wow.
So we wanted to give our listeners just a little bit more information and background, how you got started, who are your influences. Just it's so much more to just see Webb. You're not just a singer. A lot of people don't know that you're a musician and everything else. But starting off, let me just ask you, how was your first time being introduced to music? What was the breaking point that had introduced you to music? At what age did you start being introduced to music?
Well, Miss Price, my first experience and introduction to music was our father and our mother, Apostle and Shepherdess Webb. For Pops, he had like a community choir, and he had a whole music ministry going, and we wanted to be a part of that, and we would sit back and watch the choir go forth and all the great directors and musicians go forth. And then all of a sudden, we was too young to be a part of that, so Mom got me and you together and formed a group, and so we started singing, and that was our first time. You remember that, Bridge, don't you?
I do remember that, but I didn't expect you to put me on blast.
You remember every time Mama stuck a mic in your mouth, you got to cry.
Yes, I remember that. You're just going to put me on blast. That's fine. Moving on. So, who have been some of your influences that have influenced your music?
Man, Kirk Franklin. I would say the Clark sisters. Who has Thomas Whitfield. One of my favorite musical mentors, his name was Arthur Floyd. He was one of the ones who really taught me, how to play the keys, and we listened to different minister of music, him and Tim Johnson. And so those are my musical influences growing up.
Okay, so Webb, I want to ask you a little bit about Sunday's Best and that experience. So if you could tell me
Sure.
what made you try out, like what pushed you, to want to go and audition for that, and when you found out that you were going to be a part, on the actual show, like tell me the feelings you had, and just tell me a little bit about the Sunday Best experience.
Well, my Sunday Best experience was awesome. I was accompanied by my two sisters, you and Bridget, and we went to Chicago, and I just never forget, singing in front of different judges, and finally ending up with B.B. Winans and Mary. It was a growing experience, and I think that a lot of singers today, musicians, one of the things that Sunday Best does, it develops some discipline in you and confidence, and instills some confidence in you.
Yes.
Going in front of those judges, just realize when you go in there, it's just you and God.
Right.
And sometimes we seek as ministers of the gospel and musicians and singers, we seek confidence in men, but we need to have our confidence in God. Because, see, when we have our confidence in God, it doesn't matter who we could be in front of the President of the United States. But what we do this for the kingdom. We do this for Christ, you know?
Definitely. Now, if you would, your song Lifeline, if you would give us just the inspiration behind that song. Is there a story? You know, it's always a story, you know. Sometimes people have a story behind, you know, a young lady was talking to me about her new single that she wrote. She was going through some things and she began walking to church. And so what is the story behind the song Lifeline, if you would?
Wow. Lifeline was birthed, actually. Lifeline was birthed after Sunday Best, BET Sunday Best. Mm-hmm. You know, when I did BET Sunday Best, you know, it was kind of like, for me, it was, I made it to the top 7, and I believe that God had told me to audition for it. And afterwards, you know, I just felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulder. And, you know, I was like, you're trying to seek after fortune and fame. You're trying to live out your dreams, mm-hmm. but you're forgetting that, you know, that Jesus is your lifeline. And, mm-hmm. and sometimes you feel like, man, what did I do wrong? What happened? And you know, like the song said, you know, sometimes you can cry so many tears where it feels like you're drowning, you know, and sometimes it feel like, you know, you just say, hey, man, at some point, change is what I need. You know, and then you just lift your hands up and say, Lord, save me, mm-hmm. change me. You know, that's what you need. Jesus is my lifeline. And mm-hmm. that's where the song came from.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay, so how creative are you when it comes down to writing your music? I know me and Bridget always laugh about how most of your songs came out of you being in the shower, or you know, it's always something creative with different artists. So, what creativity do you have while you're writing? What inspires you?
Wow. Well, definitely life experiences helps me in writing the songs, but it's something about the bathroom being all alone. You know how some people have their prayer closet.
Mm-hmm. Preach.
For me, it's the bathroom, mm-hmm. because that's the secret place where you don't have any clothes on. You just get naked before God, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's just you and God. Mm-hmm. You know, it's nobody else. You don't have to put on no show for nobody. Right, you don't have to put on no front for nobody. Right. It's just you and God. And so that's what it was for me. And from my life experiences, number one is big. You know, what I go through, it bursts out even greater songs. Mm-hmm. You know, and that ministered, like Lifeline, I didn't realize that by writing that song, Lifeline, it ministered to me, but I mean, it ministers to so many people. I had a young man said, man, I just lost my mom, man. And when I was listening to that song, Lifeline, man, I just realized that my life wasn't over. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, I wasn't finished, but you know, all I had to do is reach out for my lifeline, mm-hmm, and he told me that God picked him up, and I mean, it's just so crazy how this song is really blessing so many people.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is next for you? When can we expect to be able to purchase your full record? What is next for you in the future? What can we expect to hear on the record and things like that?
Wow. Well, I have so many different songs. Even one of the songs that you guys are playing is Judah. Mm-hmm. God has really opened up. Right now, Lifeline and I Gotta Praise, my two leading singles, are actually being distributed by EMI. Mm-hmm. You can get it on Lifeline. I mean, you can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it. Just Google Corey Webb Lifeline. You can get it. But it's already being distributed by EMI. But I am actually releasing it off of my own label called World Impact Entertainment. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
And God is like really, really blessing me wholeheartedly. Actually, I'm gonna be on the Word Network with Bobby Jones. The taping is actually August 19th. Mm-hmm. I'm also actually going to be on Atlanta Live, Channel 5, mm-hmm. and that's going to be on August 30th of this month. So God is God is doing some great things. So expect some awesome moves beginning of 2012.
Exciting. Well, if you would offer some advice. I know that you've been doing music. I know that you've been doing music your whole life, being locked in the basement, learning songs, and you can't come up until you learn songs. And you've been at it since about age 7, I believe. If I'm wrong, just correct me. But if you would offer some advice, because it's been, you're just now, God is just now allowing so many doors to open up, and there's been so many experiences along the way. If you would just offer some advice to a lot of the newer artists that are, sometimes you are just in a moment of waiting, and God isn't telling you nothing. And you're waiting on God. So if you would just offer some advice of some encouragement for those artists that may need direction or, things like that.
Well, my encouragement to my brothers and sisters that have a dream, that have a music ministry, is that we need to take our direction from the Bible, which David was one of my heroes in the Bible. One of the things that blew me out the water was David was anointed to be king. And while David was anointed to be king, it wasn't the set time for him to be and to walk as a king. He had to still learn how to rule and judge as a king. He had to sit at Saul's table. And he had to play for Saul and watch the different moves of a king and watch how to be king and to know what to do and to know what not to do. And David was such a man that he even had to what is it called, earn his way. And one of the things that I want to tell all upcoming artists is that there's nothing that's going to be given to you. Nothing. We want a record deal to happen, and we want to wait for it. Sometimes you have to go out there and prove to God that you're worthy of the blessing that God has already put in your spirit. And another thing that I would encourage everybody concerning faith, to being faithful, is that David was tending sheep. He was faithful. And guess what? God chose him. Sometimes opportunity isn't going to come to you until you find yourself faithful. And then opportunity is going to come looking for you. But a lot of times people is going out looking for opportunity. But sometimes opportunity will come and find you where you are as long as you are being faithful. And that's one of the things I would encourage everybody is to get in a local church, get under a covering, get under a pastor, and watch that anointing come down on you and fall fresh on you. As you are being faithful, opportunity will come looking for you. And that's one of the things that I would encourage everybody is that. And then once opportunity comes, you still got to prove yourself under God. You still got to prove your ministry. It's nothing in this world that's going to come easy. You have to go get it. You gotta go get it.
Well, thank you so much, Webb, for your time. I know you're on the road and you're traveling right now, but it's very appreciated that you sit and talk to your younger sisters and cousin Chris Conscience. He wears me out with that name, Corey. Conscience. But so it's humbling that you would take the time to speak with us, and I just wish you so much success. It's just awesome to see growing up in music ministry as me, you, and Conscience did in the ministry at my dad's church, to see so many doors opening and so much greatness over your life. So thank you.
I want to say thank you to Richard Price, to Mariah, Shamira, to Chris, Conscience, Wiley, and just thank you, Speak Music Radio as a whole, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity.